My load is I'm about to drop a load.
Well, it is pretty exciting out here.
Pavement to the dirt, skinny dipping a street. Oh, I'm gonna find a pretty girl, tell her that I love her.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of One Take Sunday. Oh, my name is Brian. I'd like to thank you for joining me on these motorcycle adventures. Why don't you go ahead and hit that like button right now. If you've seen some of my past videos or you're getting a good sense this is going to be a good video too, why don't you hit that subscribe button as well. I'd really appreciate it. I hope I earned it today, and I hope I've earned it on these rides. Bob and I started off around 9:30 a.m. leaving our camp in Fort Churchill. I just had a mini kind snack granola bar for breakfast. Bob had something similar, if that. We had about 20 miles of dirt to go through to get to our breakfast spot. I figured it'd take us about an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops to get to that breakfast spot. We were hitting 40 miles an hour at first when we hit Julian Lane, which is Julian Lane's the dirt road that leads to our breakfast spot. Getting to the bridge where we left off last episode. And we got to that bridge around 11:30 a.m. And unfortunately the bridge is only halfway right there between us and breakfast. And unfortunately for the day, we have 200 miles plus after breakfast, including 50 miles of dirt on BLM land to get us up to Tonopah, where we are staying for the night, which is pretty critical to our trip. So getting at the bridge at 11:30 a.m., even though we're cognizant that we're going to have to be cognizant of time, Bob and I also relaxed a little bit. We just did about 10 miles of dirt or so. Bob's ankles and legs are hurting him. Get to that later. My whole body's hurting me. Get to that right now. You're picking up 600-pound dirt bikes, 600-pound bikes, which was hard, to say the least. Was especially when they're packed and wobbling around and stuff. So we took a well-deserved break at the bridge. Threw up the drone.
Okay, ready for the big reveal? Yeah.
When I threw up the drone, I admired the dirt that we came in on. I was impressed and happy that we were able to do that. And also, tilted it in the forward direction and saw that we had about 2 to 4 miles of just straight, pristine road, little sand patches here and there. Probably my favorite part of that dirt was that straight dirt road. Not too technical, some technical, but I was building up a lot of confidence, and it really felt good. But then we went over the hills. And over the railroad tracks. There's no easy way to say it. You can say it's the map. You can say it was the original route. You can say I should have done better planning this part of the route. But no matter how you look at it, we took a wrong turn.
But the thing is, with these vines, like sometimes you get rid of a little from it, and you stay on the trail. Did you see it still over there? Oh, fuck! Okay, hold on, bud, I got you. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. How's your ankle? Here I come, Bob, here I come. Okay. I'm coming. Oh. I tripped my bike folks, okay. they twisted them in your back thing. Oh my God, he stepped. It did not look good. It did not look good.
No, it did not look good. Here we go with a close-up, looking at Bob's left ankle, basically pointing in the wrong direction from his torso. I was debating whether I should tell you now or tell you when me and Bob found out that it was broken. That's right. We found out after the trip that it's broken when Bob got it x-rayed when we got back. Now, Bob's an orthopedic surgeon. Bob knew he broke his ankle, and he called it to the exact location. He is riding right now with a broken ankle. Being in martial arts for 30 plus years now, you know, I can't count the number of times that I've jammed a finger or broke a toe or hurt myself in the middle of fighting, not realizing it till I got home later. We'll see if Bob feels it later. I tell you what, Bob's such a tough guy. Might not even feel it later. We'll see about that, though. Bob, I love you, brother, and it's just an honor to ride with you. Right now, we've made a turn here and there. We're trying to find the trail. It's not very well defined at this point. We keep on looking at the map, trying to see if we could get back on the trail. We're about right here where this purple line is. That's where we've been, and we're trying to get over here to this red line to where we think we need to be. So we turn around to get there. Now I'm so tired, I'm just starting to make sloppy mistakes, falling over like this. There's got to be some word for it, but I swear once I start to drop my bike, the easier and easier it gets to fall over, and the harder and harder it gets to pick up. Just as I think this trail can't get any worse, coming through some of the deepest, thickest ruts I've been through, so deep they're coming above my boxer engine. Thinking to myself, sometimes you have to go through some really bad trail to get to some really good trail. But there's no good trail yet. It just got worse. A gigantic mud bog filled with about a foot of water for as far as the eye can see here. As I desperately search for a way around it, just any way around it, we can't see anything around here. It's now 1 p.m. We only have about 2 more miles from this point to reach the pavement. Could basically walk there if we wanted to, but we can't get around the bog with our bikes. And every trail we see is running in a different direction than where we need to be. We turn our bikes around, head back to the railroad tracks to reconvene, look for a route so that we can get out of here. And just when I think things can't get any worse, they do.
Oh, fuck my leg, Bob. My leg, please, please. Oh, please. I get broken. Oh, please. Oh, please, Bob, hurry. Oh, please. Oh, God. Bob, please. Please. Oh, God. Oh, God, Bob, please. Oh, God. Bob, please. It hurts so bad. Please. Oh, Bob, please. Please. Yeah, please. Come on, man.
Rob, are you out?
Come out.
Okay, good.
Come out. I'm okay. It's okay. It just hurt. It just fucking hurt.
Just like me. Oh, man.
Fuck, that's scary. I'm trapped.
Yeah, just like me.
Oh, thank God I'm not broken.
Bob, thank you so much for running over with that broken ankle. That could not have been easy. I just really want to thank you. I don't know what I would have done if you weren't there. Again, you know, I hate to use a martial arts comparison, but in jiu-jitsu, there's this thing called a leg lock. When your opponent has you in it, you know, sometimes you can punch your way out of it. At worst, you can tap your way out and get out. I couldn't get out from that 600-pound bike. Don't know how I would have done it without my brother Bob there. My knee is really jacked. Adrenaline's pumping. We'll get to more of that later. Bob and I are looking for an exit, just any exit, to get back to the pavement and back to civilization. So we look at the map, we find that we're probably going to have to go about 20 miles around. It's not what we want to see, it's not what we want to hear. We're both hungry. We're concerned about gas, we're concerned about food. But we go and we hit the trail. As we start heading in a direction that takes us further and further away from where we think civilization is, I'm just happy to be on some solid dirt again, something that we can actually ride on. Bob and I are supposed to go left here. We make an executive decision to say, hey, maybe there's a bypass below. All of a sudden things start to get rocky. Are we making the wrong decision again? We had to chance it. We had to give it a try. We come up to other trails that aren't on the map either. We decided we were going to hug the muddy lake that we're above now, heading hopefully in the right direction. As we look at that muddy lake that kind of just went on for miles and miles, it's looking like we're heading in the right direction. And me and my buddy Bob found a bypass so that we can get back to civilization about 2 miles away from here. Things are starting to look up. Not only are they starting to look up, but we're doing it. We're bypassing the muddy bog. We are cruising at some decent dirt speeds now. And we are on our way back to civilization, me and my buddy Bob. Yeah, and as the dirt turns into pavement, hey, don't get me wrong, I love being out on the dirt. But sometimes it's just nice to be on some tarmac, you know what I mean? Oh man, me and Bob, we finally get to our breakfast place at around 2:30 p.m. And we pull up into Sherry's Wagon Wheel. And hey, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Sherry's Stage Shop. My apologies. Oh, great food. And it was a pleasure to meet Sherry. Here's a picture of Sherry and her husband, her late husband, who passed away from COVID. I am so sorry, Sherry. I hope you see this video. And I hope I do some web work for your wonderful establishment, because you are quite the cook and restaurant owner, to say the least. Thank you so much for the great food. And it really hit the spot. And Bob and I needed that really badly. You know the old adage, when it rains, it pours. Well, as I was hopping on my motorcycle, my Dexcom G6 blood glucose meter tore out of my leg. So I had to put a new one back in, and it's such a pain. So I'm in the bathroom. Let me replace my glucose sensor. Darn it. It's so stressful. Not having glucose readings as a diabetic. It sucks. And these meters, they're wonky the first 24 hours. And, you know, my insulin pump relies on the readings from this meter. At least it didn't happen in the dirt. At least it didn't happen in the dirt. But it is what it is. What can you do? It's like one of my worst nightmares is writing without getting glucose information. It stresses me out. Yeah, so it is what it is. Me and Bob hop on our bikes. We knock out these 200 miles like it's freaking nothing in the Nevada desert. This is the first time I've ever seen Walker Lake. This lake is pretty freaking huge. I had no idea. It's pretty cool. Again, we're crushing 200 miles like it's nothing. Unfortunately, we had to roll past our exit that took us to 50 miles of dirt on the BLM land over those mountains over there. But hey, it is what it is. I'll go back and do that dirt someday. Just spend the day out there doing it. When you're on an adventure, sometimes things change and you gotta roll with it. And hey, finally, the place where we end this episode right now, we finally end up at It says not to take photography of that direction. Whoa, whoa, whoa.